So if Cardiff beat Palace and we beat Brighton, it's going to be an absolute mad thing.
The last day of the season. I don't know which game Sky's going to pick. Yeah. They have to pick Man City.
It's got to be Man City and
Liverpool.
Yeah.
And that's...
No, but that might have a red button thing. Do red buttons still exist these days?
Just do all of it. Just play every game. Every top game. All 5 top 10. Yeah. Tell them, fam, you know what it is? It's, you could sell it as well. People will pay for it.
I might have to buy Sky just for the day, you know?
15 quid or whatever, or Nah TV, 20 quid, every game you want, just press the button. Boom.
I have all the screens.
Yeah, just shooting all over the gap. Yeah. But then it all depends on the next game now.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't sleep on it.
Don't sleep on it.
This is probably the weirdest top 4 race I've seen in a while, where it seems like nobody really wants it. Spurs lost to West Ham. They first lost at the new ground. Of course, you lost to Leicester, and then Man United played Chelsea at Old Trafford. And I know you said it before. If Chelsea won that game, obviously it was Arsenal, after the Arsenal game, then Man United and Arsenal both out of the top 4 race. It was a draw, and another David De Gea blunder, and it saddens me. Not because even if we had won the game, it would still upset me, because David De Gea has done, like, he's been so good for us in the last 5-6 years. I think he's won 4 out of 5 Player of the Years for Manchester United. Got the Golden Glove in the Premier League last year, and pretty much is the reason, like, we've played probably even played Champions League football 3 out of the last 5 seasons or whatever it is, because I think we finished 4th one year, won the Europa League, and granted, actually, he wasn't the Europa League keeper, but our defence has been terrible, and is terrible, and he's been like a one-man defence. But now he's making mistakes, and if anything, you might say he's exposing how poor we are, because most keepers in the world make mistakes, but it's like, when we make a mistake, then it costs us the game. Whereas other keepers will make a mistake, and then the attackers will score. You know, Messi will score a hat trick, or Salah will do whatever. Alisson made, I think, more errors leading to goals this season, or maybe as equal amount to David De Gea. But Liverpool have got, I don't know, 40 or 30 more goals than us this season, so it's like their mistakes have less burden on the team, and we needed to win. For me, we really needed to win, because even if we won, we would have gone level with Chelsea, still behind on goal difference. But we've got Huddersfield and Cardiff last 2 games of the season, which I would expect us to win, and then if we have to win then comfortably, I hope we can do that. And then Chelsea, I think that Chelsea potentially can drop points, because they're not a great team either. They're not playing very well. Their form isn't great either. So for me, it's definitely it's 2 points dropped, and I think a chance missed to get in the top 4. I can't see it now. I think we need to win our last 2 games, and Chelsea probably have to lose. Yeah, Chelsea will have to lose one to Watford, or who's the other game? I actually got away to Leicester, so I might have to rely on Brendan Rodgers. But in terms of the game,
then you have to we have to not also win games as well.
You've got
Brighton and Burnley.
Burnley away,
Brighton
at home.
I thought you'd have to rely on Ole. I thought you'd have to rely on Ole.
Listen,
I thought Ole was at the wall.
Ole's at the wall, innit? Ole's at the wall. But listen, and what for me, I don't have any blame for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. When I say that, in terms of the squad is terrible.
Yeah. The
squad is poor. We're only in a top 4 race because of that run we went on. When he joined, and if you remember the podcast, I was like, well, top 4's done. When Jose Mourinho got sacked, the day after, we did the podcast with Charmer, wasn't it? And I said, well, top 4's done. Then Jose got sacked, and I was like, okay, well, it's still done anyway. Solskjaer's in. Solskjaer's run obviously got us to the Champions League quarterfinals, FA Cup quarterfinals as well, and actually with a chance, even to this point, still technically with a chance of getting top 4. So I'm not. Okay, we lost 7 out of the last 10 plus 1 draw in all competitions. So you can put blame on the manager for maybe tactics here, players for X, Y, Z. But the position we're in, struggling to get in top 4, is not because of Solskjaer. It's in spite, for me, of his efforts.
Yeah, but rash decision to make him, don't you think, to make him the manager? Just, like, obviously, he's, like, don't get me wrong, he came in, you lot was in a bad place, in a dark place. He came in, he put a little bit of energy in there. You get me? Pogba started to play now because he's not sulking. You see what I'm saying? He said, oh, yeah, okay, cool, let's play. But then the results started. To me, you started to play like Mourinho's United again.
What is it?
That's what I started to see.
After he got the job?
Yeah.
Well, there was 2 games before he got the job, before the international break. One was Arsenal, which I wouldn't say we were unlucky to lose, but we could have got a result out of it. But Arsenal deserved to win the game, as I said at the time. And the game after was Wolves in the FA Cup. So we got knocked out of those, we were out of competition. Then in the top 4, then we went on international break, and then he got the job. And then since then, we've obviously struggled with form. But for me, we had 2 games before, plus the game before that was a late win against Southampton. So it wasn't like, for me, we were blowing every team away 4-5-0 with a man of the match performance from David De Gea against Spurs. We had a very good result and performance against Arsenal and Chelsea in the FA Cup. And then we got a good win, but a fortunate win in Paris to go through in the quarterfinals. So it's not like, for me, we were blowing everyone away. Ollie got a job and they went back down. The results were great, performance were good. It weren't. You know, the results masked some of the deficiencies in the squad. Those deficiencies are definitely reared its head. But I think a lot of them, for me, it is more to do with just the players' lack of ability rather than, a lack of, I don't know, confidence or work rate or anything like that. I think these players are just bad. Lukaku was on a good run of form. I think he's got like two goals in like 6 games in a row, 4 games in a row. But that's not Lukaku. Lukaku's not going to keep that form up forever. He always does that. He does those spurts, then goes in a bit of barren, goes in spurts, goes in a bit of barren run of form. For me, I wouldn't have given Solskjaer the job when he did. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure the reason why. For me, partly might be to do with summer plans. Because if you wait to the end of the season, then you have to get a manager in. It delays everything with his transfers, pre-season in terms of where you're going to go, etc., etc. And some of it might be to do with players who hadn't signed contracts, because if they don't know which manager's coming in, they're less likely to sign contracts. Obviously, Herrera's looks like he's going to PSG. Some of these players need to go, to be fair. Mata, Valencia, for example. But then you got people,
Ashley Young.
Ashley Young, I don't know, is he in his last year? I hope he is. You gave him a 1 year extension, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So he's not one that was necessarily going to leave in the summer. But Martial, for example, signed a contract after Solskjaer came in. Obviously, they want David De Gea to sign a contract. I'm sure they probably want Pogba to sign a contract, Rashford to sign a contract. So there's a lot of uncertainty going in the club. If the manager who's at the helm is also uncertain, unless they were going to announce mid-season, Pochettino, for example, is coming at the end of the year, the players need to know what's happening with their futures. So that might be one of the reasons why they gave it to him when he did. Equally, the way that football is, they could sack him when they want anyway. So it's not like, because we signed a 3-year contract, we're tied down to him for 3 years. I wouldn't want that anyway, for us to sack him ever, because it means that something's going wrong if we have to sack him. But, that's the way football goes. But I would have waited to the end of the season, because I just don't think there was any need. I don't personally see what we benefited from.
Question: do you think if you waited to the end of the season, you could have got Poch at the end of the season?
It's not a given. It's not a given. I would hope that we would try to get him, but it's not even a given that we would try to get him. I don't know what actually goes through the head of the Manchester United board, Ed Woodward. And one thing I also said was that 'cause I think we were speaking about January transfers one time, and I said I actually don't want to buy anyone. This is after Jose went. Yeah, we do need certain players, and if a world-class player became available, yes, because whatever the manager who comes in, they should be able to work with that player. But when you're buying players and signing contracts, etc., with no direction, who is making the decisions? Ed Woodward. So Ed Woodward says that Jones and Smalling and Young need new contracts. That don't work for me. I've said it at the time, and I'll say it again. We need a director of football. A director of football is coming that, regardless of who the manager is, this is the direction we're going to go in. So, Solskjaer being given the job for me is neither here nor there, because it's not gonna. For me, that's not gonna make us a better squad, a better team. We need some direction, and if Solskjaer got the job, or Pochettino got the job, or what's his name, Jardim got the job, Allegri, whatever it is, if we don't have a director of football in place, it's going to be the same cycle over and over again. Equally, yes, getting Champions League football was important, and some players may either not come or come based on whether you get Champions League football or not. Some players may sign or not sign contracts because of Champions League football or not. But for me, what's more important in terms of the future of the club is what goes on above, whether we're in the Europa League or we're in the Champions League. Because a club like Man United, for me, will get back in the Champions League. We'll do we've done it before. We dropped 7th with Moyes, got back in the Champions League. We got 5th with Van Gaal, got back in the Champions League. So that's not an issue for me. We're not going to compete for the Champions League next year, regardless of whether we're in it or not, because we're just not good enough. But I need to see some direction for the club, and right now it's messy. No Leo now, and I'm not worried, but I'm just unsure, and I think a lot of the players are unsure about what's going on, and I think it's affecting some of their performances. I think David De Gea's probably unsure about. This is the second time he's had contract issues. One was on LVG, and he got dropped from the squad until that was sorted, and he probably should have been dropped from the squad until it was sorted, because it's clearly affecting him. He's not a bad keeper. So, I don't know. I think Chelsea, for me, are in the best position. Do you think they'll get Champions League football? Top 4, Chelsea? I think the draw, they were happy with the draw. They could have won it if Higuain was any better than he actually was.
I mean, it's hard to say. It honestly is. And I tell you why, because I think the 3 teams that are fighting for that 4th spot, because I think Spurs are in it regardless. I think Spurs are going to finish in the top 4, and I think the last is obviously between Chelsea, Man United and Arsenal, and the last 3, neither of them have won their last 3 games. Obviously Arsenal have lost 3, Crystal Palace, Wolves and obviously Leicester. Man United is 1-1 draw with Chelsea, 2-0 to Man City and 4-0 Everton. And Chelsea is...
How do you use 4-0 at Everton?
And Chelsea's 1-1 Man United, 2-2 Leicester, and I can't remember...
No, 2-2 Burnley.
2-2 Burnley, and I can't remember what the game was before, but they didn't win it. So neither team...
They lost it, the game before that.
So neither team have won a game.
Liverpool. Is that Liverpool?
Yeah,
in the last 3 matches. So, and I'm looking at it, and you're like, and you're saying, well, you should win this and you should win that. Well, they should have won this and they should have won that these 3 games ago. So I'm looking at it like, Chelsea may be in the driver's seat, but they've still got to play Leicester, and Leicester just copied Arsenal. So I don't know. Like, if you're looking at it on paper, they should finish on the top 4, but I don't know, man. It's literally every week is no before you, no after you, no you after you, no, I implore you, you go first. You have 4th place. Literally, no one wants it. I don't know, man. I'm going to stick to what I said before when I said I figured it out, and I said it was going to be Spurs and Arsenal.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I said it was going to be Spurs and Arsenal. Because remember, Arsenal had finished all the playing all the teams in the top 6, and it had all the teams.
They had the easy run.
Yeah, they had the easy run. I think the hardest everyone said was the Everton game, and then everything else that they should win. And I was like, okay, well then it would be Spurs and Arsenal. And
I tell you what, the thing is that what I said at the time, I think few was that as a Man United, I'm looking at it like the only saving grace was that I think you had out of the last 6 games, 4 of them were away from home. And I was like, that's a saving grace. As a proof, I think you lost to Everton, lost to obviously Wolves and with Wolves and Leicester, and you got 1 more away from home with Burnley. but we're not even winning our games. Like, even if we just took a point, take a point at Everton. Everything's different. Just take a point. But
Everton, man mentioned Everton out of all the teams to take a point. They gave you 4th, bro. Like, at least,
we're not going to get a point against City. You got to be realistic, innit?
Yeah, okay.
You got to be realistic.
Okay.
But you go there, you get battered 4-0. Like, I see that. And I'm like, I look at it. Obviously, I want top 4. But you look at it. I don't even want Champions League. Because what are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's ridiculous. I don't know, man. That's it. It's the weirdest. And I think Spurs, for me, are the only team out of those 4 teams battling for it that, for me, can still come out of any credit. I know Arsenal fans might say different. I don't know. But they made no signings. They've had injuries and got injuries to key players. Harry Kane obviously being the main one. They've had injuries throughout the season, but somehow, like, they've lost 11 games this season. But they're still on 70 points. It's not a mammoth amount, but generally 70 points gets you in the top 4 anyway. So in most seasons, they would probably be in and around the top 4 with lack of signings. Whereas Man United, of course, we've made signings. Chelsea made signings, and Arsenal didn't make many, but they made some. And of course, Man City and Liverpool are clear. So I think also the fact that they've got they're in the Champions League semi-final. They're the only one. If they were to drop out the Champions League at the top 4, they're the only one who, for me, would have an excuse or a reason to say, we were carrying this and carrying that. The rest of them, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, it's embarrassing.
If you're looking at it from the start of the season, yeah. But with them being 10 points clear at one stage
of
5th place, as in 10 points clear. In the top 4.
They were 10 points clear.
10 points clear, 5th place. Yeah, they were cruising. They were gone, clear. So there wasn't even people. Remember, they were challenging for the title. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
They were challenging for the title.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. Do you remember that? They were challenging for the title. And then okay, you can look at it and say start of the season.
Yeah, but the reason why they've fallen off for me, like, obviously they're not as good as Man City, Liverpool first and foremost. But their squad is so much smaller than the rest of the top 6. So they can be up there for 20 games, but the rest of the 18 games, or even get there for 25 games.
Why is their squad smaller? Like, what do you mean in terms of what? Quality?
No, in terms of just numbers.
What do you mean?
They've got an 11.
Yeah.
And then right now, Jansen's probably played about 2 games this season. They don't have players.
Yeah, but
so what does Arsenal?
Yeah, but it's the thing. Like, I mean, they're players.
El Nene. That's what Arsenal have.
I mean,
El Nene, blood.
Yeah, okay. They don't have.
They didn't sign no one. They didn't sign no one.
Yeah, but the squad. Everyone told me the squad was good enough anyway. Spurs fans told me the squad was good enough.
Today.
Yeah, Tim Sherwood went on Sky because he said, "Our Tottenham squad is good enough. They should be challenging for the Premier League with that squad that they have there."
In
fact, they said not one player they could sign to can even get in that squad.
Again, in the first 11.
Yeah.
In the first 11.
Which
I disagree with anyway.
When Bayern players are going to score, but they didn't want him because they said that the squad was too good enough. So, end of the day, they didn't make signings because of one, they didn't have the money, and 2, that's their choice.
No, I think it was.
They couldn't sign him.
I think it was more to do with the stadium than anything.
Yeah.
Why they didn't sign him?
Yeah, money. But then, like, I can't say, because you know what, you didn't spend money, so fair enough. If you don't make it, fair enough. At the end of the day, that's your choice, isn't it? You don't spend money. We didn't spend money when we came second in the Premier League. When we only signed Czech, and if we made more signings, we could have won the Premier League, but we didn't. That's our fault, isn't it? Because we didn't make signings, we have to look at it and saying we should have won the Premier League that year, but we only wanted to sign one player. And if we look at it and say, you know what, we could have signed if we signed, but we thought. The reason why we didn't sign is because we thought our squad was good enough to do whatever, finish the Champions League or win the Premier League. End of the day, for me, that's Spurs' choice. And Spurs look like they're going to finish in top 4 anyway. But boy, they're only getting there because none of us won it. I said before we had the Everton game, this top 4 should be a wrap for us. It's in our hands. Even third is there. Spurs have lost to West Ham. Spurs have lost to Man City. They dropped points in the game, one of the games before that as well. It's like, I mean, they're scraping through because none of us really won it. Like, and to be honest, with them Champions League, they still got to go to Bournemouth. So, but even still, there's a chance.
They're on 70. Is it 70?
They're on 70, yeah.
You lot on 66. So if you win your last 2, you'll be on 72. So effectively, Spurs only need one win to get top 4. I think the maximum we can get, we're on what, 64? No, 60.
64.
64.
Points
Okay, so the highest we can get is 70. So yeah, Spurs get one win, they'll be top 4. But they would really want to get in the next game because their last game was against Everton, and that's no guarantee they're going to get anything there.
And they're away to Bournemouth.
It's a tough game. It's still tough. There's still spins.
The Prem ain't easy,
There's
bro.
still spins.
The Prem ain't easy, man. I know we're crap. We're all crap. So
You lot out of that now, like when we break it down, Man United have the easiest run.
Yeah,
Like,
now, for the 2 games.
but it shouldn't even have got to now.
But like, I'm like, for me, I'm putting 6 points on us. Like, we've won it. I can't see how we can't beat Huddersfield. And you know what? If we cannot beat Huddersfield, we don't deserve. As a matter of fact, we probably don't deserve it already. But if we can't beat Huddersfield and Cardiff in our last games, and you know what? We have to win those games like 4-0. Because we need to close the gap of goal difference to everyone above. If we're not good enough to do that, then I think Europa League's our level. It's as simple as that. And we've got to accept that. The name of Man United is Champions League, but the quality of our players are clearly not good enough for Champions League. So, listen, we need to be beating them 4-0, 5-0, and hope that, Watford, Burnley, and Everton maybe do us a favour, but yeah.
Who else have got Leicester? Chelsea.
Yeah, Watford and Leicester.
You could go down to the last day. Like it's proper going down to the last day.
Yeah, everything could be everything.
Yep.
Or like from 1 to 10, because I think 7th, 8th, and 9th at least anyway are all fighting for 7th place.
Yeah.
Watford, Leicester, and Wolves. I feel like there's another one. Maybe not. Maybe it's just those 3.
Everton, no?
What? Yeah.
What did I say? Yeah, Everton. Yeah. So it's 4. So for top 10, basically everyone in the top 10 has something to play for between now and the season. Leicester's playing Chelsea. Watford's playing Chelsea. They both got something to play for. Everton's playing Spurs. We've got something to play for. Huddersfield are down. Cardiff are down. Brighton probably.
Cardiff need to win.
Yeah, well, it's the last game of the season. I think they'll be down by then.
But if they beat Palace next week,
and Brighton are playing you lot.
Yeah, and we beat Brighton.
How many points are they above Brighton? Brighton's 4 points ahead of them.
Brighton's 4 points ahead.
Got 3 games.
No, they got 2 games. They got Palace and then Man United. So, but if Cardiff beat Palace and we beat Brighton, they'll be 1 point behind Brighton. Last day of the
And then
season.
Brighton's got Man City last.
Yeah.
Away. No, at home. And Cardiff have got Man United away.
Yeah, and Man City need to win for the title. So if Cardiff beat Palace and we beat Brighton, it's going to be an absolute mad thing.
The last day of the season. I want to know which game Sky's going to pick. Yeah. They have to pick Man City.
It's got to be Man City and
Liverpool.
Yeah.
And that's...
No, but that might have a red button thing. Do red buttons still exist these days?
Just do all of it. Just play every game. Every top all 5 top 10. Yeah. Tell me, fam, you know what it is? You could sell it as well. People will pay for it.
I might have to buy Sky just for the day, you know.
15 quid or whatever on Now TV, 20 quid, every game you want. Just press the button. Boom.
I have it with a screen.
Yeah, just shooting all over the gap. Yeah, I'm down for that.
It's actually mad.
It is mad. Because, okay, last day of the season, Man City's away to Brighton. Away to Brighton. Both of them got something to play. Liverpool at home to Wolves. Both got something to play for. Spurs at home to Everton.
Yeah.
Arsenal
away to Burnley.
Okay, yeah. Only Arsenal got something to play for there. Man United home to Cardiff. Chelsea away to Leicester. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
That's a big game, though.
And what?
Chelsea away to Leicester.
It's mad.
Yeah.
It's actually
it's very big game.
But then it all depends on the next game now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't sleep on it.
Don't sleep on it.
It's true.
Like we should. I expect to beat Brighton. I expect to beat them. Do you get me? Like we should beat them, but we should have beat Crystal Palace. Yeah. And we should have beat Tottenham, to be honest with you. Like, Aubameyang should have scored a penalty. People say, oh, but he scored against United. Score both of them. Score both of them. And he had the cheek to take it the same way as well. That done my heart in. But, do you know what I mean? It went in and whatever. But...
yeah, the next game. He said the next game is crucial.
The next game is crucial.
There's Europa League in there as well.
Who have United
Huddersfield away. Chelsea are Watford at home.
Tough game, Huddersfield away.
What?
Their last game in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go in, and Huddersfield's not far away from Manchester, is it? So the man are rivals. They're rivals. You get me? They're trying to, yeah.
Man City got Leicester at home next.
Man City.
Liverpool have got Newcastle away. Tottenham have got Bournemouth away.
I think that's gonna be a tough game.
Listen, that could decide the title right there, you know.
Rafa.
Rafa got
If Rafa gets anything out of that, and Man City win, title's done.
Yeah.
Because the goal difference is too big.
Yeah.
Perez is on form as well.
Yeah.
Perez is shooting right now.
Listen, I would love, like, for the excitement of the Premier League, yeah, we want to go to the last day. But I don't want Liverpool to the title. I don't care when it gets done. Cut early. Done. Finish it now.
Early, yeah. It's
One
done
game.
it.
Early.
I'm happy, man.
I said 94 instead of 97. You get me? You know what I'm saying? That's bad, bro.
Chelsea, yeah, what I said, Watford away. No, Watford at home. Arsenal, Bournemouth, Brighton at home. Man United, Huddersfield away.
Man City, Leicester on Monday.
Okay, so Man City are playing low. Yeah, it's gonna be mad. It's gonna be mad.